speak to Mehran Kamrava, who's a professor of government at Georgetown University in Qatar. He joins us from Doha. Good to see you again. Let's just examine what Priyanka has been saying in terms of possible red lines. Do you see it almost as a false start? Every negotiation has to begin somewhere. But if Ismail Haniyeh says he wants a complete withdrawal of all Israeli troops, that's not likely to be conceded by the Israeli war cabinet, is it?
No, it isn't. And I think Netanyahu's domestic political predicament does not really allow for it. As you know, the coalition is in danger of collapsing, as the correspondent just mentioned. And so I don't think this is really a proposal that is likely to have traction. But it does buy Israel time, which is what Israel wants. It wants to appear as if it is making a good faith effort towards peace. But at the same time, we know, for example, that the attacks on Gaza have only intensified as the negotiations for this ceasefire have been going on.
Mehran, you heard what the British Foreign Minister, David Cameron, said about the UK possibly, alongside its allies, recognizing a Palestinian state. I mean, that seemed to be a kind of a bombshell that most of the world is kind of almost ignoring. I'm not sure if the British government has ever said that before. You know, the national broadcaster in the United Kingdom, they can't even say the word Palestine. They have to say Palestinian territories because their government doesn't recognize the state of Palestine. How much pressure might this put on Israel?
The pressure is going to be significant, but I think we're really at an inflection point. We're in a moment of historical precipice. I say that with some reluctance because that it might come across as hyperbole, but really we're at a moment in history where either we will see further depopulation of Gaza and this ethnic cleansing that's been going on is going to succeed, or this is that push that will finally force countries like Great Britain, others, to recognize that Palestine is not going to dissipate from the map and that they finally need to do something, recognize a Palestinian state, and engage in what his Israeli diplomat once called heroic diplomacy. And this is one of those historic moments where we might either see further ethnic cleansing of Palestine, or we might actually see some tangible, substantive moves towards the establishment of a viable Palestinian state.
You've almost sort of predicted the question I wanted to ask you, Mehran, in terms of where this is pushing Israeli politics at the moment. I mean, Priyanka, our correspondent, said Israeli society is not a monolith, but in terms of politics, in the few years that we can look ahead and kind of guess what's going to happen, do you see Israeli politics moving even further to the right because of what's happening? Or will it be a kind of reversal and some kind of slightly more lenient, understanding, kind of caring kind of government?
That's a really good question. Israel is a highly polarized society, but at the same time, the center of ideological gravity in Israeli society has moved steadily to the right, and that has manifested itself in election results, one after another over the last several years. But ultimately, the population goes along with what the political leadership decides in almost any political system. And if the political leadership has experiences enough pressure from the US, the UK, European Union, and others to finally moderate some of its uncompromising stance and kind of loosen up on this ethnic cleansing that's going on, I think the population will eventually follow along.
Mehran, we always appreciate the analysis. Thank you so much, Mehran Kamrava.
Thank you very much.